What up, everybody? Welcome to the IAG Thursday thing. This thing that we do every Thursday, and we've been pretty good about it lately, doing it on Thursdays at a reasonable time. But this week we got a banger. Pretty excited about it. We're going to be talking a whole lot about VBWRX stuff, and yeah, I always love talking to shops, so this is always a good time. Unfortunately, Warranty is doing warranty things, so we're not going to be seeing him. Executive producer Jordan is broken, so he will not be here. He might pop in, but I don't think we're going to see him much. That's okay because I kind of got a co-host anyway, so we'll be fine. And we always got to thank Randy for making our sweet thumbnails. Thank you, Randy. We appreciate it. This week, we're talking to essentially the kings of the VB chassis. The TPG is kind of like owned it. And I'm pretty hyped. Gonna be a good conversation today, but we have Nate Silveri from TPG on the podcast today. What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going, dude. What have you been up to? How's I think it finally cooled down over there. I know I'm down in Tennessee right now, and it finally cooled down here. It's just been a blazing hot ass summer, so I'm sure everybody in the shop's enjoying that, right?
This is the hottest one for a while. It's been 90 degrees forever. Now it's finally like fall, but probably going to snow soon. But no, it's nice.
That's so the truth, man. So I'm gonna start off with the basics. We already got your name. Can you tell me a little bit about the shop, what you guys do, where you're at?
Yeah. We're so right now we're in Export PA, so we're a little outside of Pittsburgh and Western PA. We've been here in this building for like 7 years. Around since I've been doing this since like early 2000s with the Subaru stuff since I was a lot younger. My business partner, we own two shops originally not together. We kind of it's about 13, 14 years ago. We both kind of, or at least we're up at the same time, two little shops. We got together at that point, and that's kind of where we're at now. We do a lot of Subaru stuff. I'd say like 50-60% of the cars we work on are Subarus, but we do all sorts of other performance platforms too.
Sure.
And a lot of VB stuff lately. So
yeah. I mean, what else do you guys mess with? By all means, we get a lot of people who don't just do Subarus on here. It's
no, we've been doing a lot. All the import stuff. The past year or two, we've been doing a ton of domestic cars. So
really?
Like we've all the C6, C7, C8s, twin turbo C8 stuff recently. All the newer LS, LT platform cars for the swap stuff's been taken off. So a little bit of everything. So we like I said, a lot of it's Subaru, but there's 40% of our other work is anything that's fast for the most part.
Yeah. Hey man, whatever works. You gotta keep the lights on, right? That's how it works. So what does TPG stand for?
So it was Team Pump Gas.
Oh, nice.
It's actually kind of stupid, but it was a long time ago. We had a DSM we raced that ran like 980s on 93 octane.
Okay, that's still hauling ass.
15 years ago, that was a cool thing. But the acronym like sounded good, and we kept it, but we don't really use that anymore.
So it's just 3 letters.
Keep it. The 3 letters sound good. Everyone has a 3-letter name. It works.
Yep. Everybody does have a 3-letter name.
Yeah.
Cool. So when did you guys start? Like, what give me a little breakdown of the history. I know you had, two of you guys, your shops merged or whatever, but like kind of give me a breakdown of like where it all came together,
all the DSM stuff. So like back in 2000, 2002.
Yeah, so right after the movie kicked off, and like everybody's like, hell yeah, we're talking back in the day with Why can't I think of his name? John Shepard, getting everybody amped up and shit like
Yeah.
that. The Busher dudes.
Yep.
Yep.
So I did worked on a lot of DSMs back in the day. That was
Cool.
the thing that kind of started it all. I worked for a company called Slowboy Racing for
Yep.
like 5 years.
Yeah.
When I was for like 17 to 23, 24, something like that. My first car was a Ford Ranger, but second car was a first gen DSM, like 91 front wheel drive turbo car. Um, and that's where I got started doing all that stuff and working there and got a lot of experience with that. Um, I taught at Wyotech for 5 years or so after
Oh,
that,
no shit. That's cool.
and kind of cool, and kind of started the whole uh, shop thing on the side at the time, and then I worked for Brent Rao drag racing as a crew chief for like 3 years, doing like the Nopi and NHRA Sport Compact circuit back in the like 2007, 8, 9 kind of thing.
That was back when
And
there was money in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where I kind of learned all the drag racing stuff. At least got a ton of experience with the actual drag cars and slipper clutches and kind of playing the game drag racing kind of thing, which is what I've always loved to do.
Mhm.
And yeah, from there when Jason and I met, we started doing stuff together. We had a smaller building in Blairsville, Pennsylvania, and we were there for 5 or 6 years. And then the big jump was like a big, nicer building that we didn't think we could afford at the time, and moved here.
Was that one of
And
those
everything
situations
worked out.
where you look at this big building and you're like, man, we're never gonna fill this, and like 2 years later you're like, fuck, where are we putting all this?
Yeah, and it was the money. So like
Yeah.
at the time, the rent here compared to where we were was like 5 times as much.
Mhm.
So you're like, you don't want to make the
Yeah.
jump because you don't think you can afford it, and
Terrifying.
thankfully we did. But I mean, we had a lot of doubts going into it, so that all worked out. In fact, that was probably like one of the best decisions we made, because our old shop, thankfully this building's really nice and the showroom's really nice, the parking lot's paved and all that stuff, but the old building, like most small shops, like it was a building that was falling apart. The parking lot was gravel, like it wasn't that nice. But
It was
having
cheap.
a nicer building brought in a lot more higher end clientele stuff too, so it all ended up working out.
So, that's awesome. So you guys have been around a minute. When did you get into Subarus? When did you start really dabbling into that? I'm sure like at some point, and I'm just gonna go out there and like the DSM stuff probably kind of died off. And then the Subaru stuff, you were probably just getting a massive influx of that. It happened to most people right after Ken Block started sliding around shit. And I'm sure you guys did a pile of Evos, but I mean, I actually had a conversation with some of my buddies the other day about how it's real sad to see kind of what happened with that platform, because it never, it's kind of died. It sucks, but
So it seems like it's like 10 years or so from when the car stopped being manufactured, is about when people stop taking them to a shop and they just do everything themselves for the most part.
Sure.
Or they're just falling apart and they're a piece of shit. But
yeah,
the DSMs are kind of like that, and the Evos are getting to that point too. I mean, it's been 10, 11 years since they made an Evo.
yeah.
And Subaru is really the only one that's still making a somewhat affordable, import performance car. But yeah, I mean, so since like they brought the Bug Eye here, like maybe this is dating myself and I'm really old, but
Hey man, I'm old too.
like 02 and 03, like I worked on them then.
Yeah.
And like it was basic shit. Like Pexi AFC, and then the UTECs were a big thing, and
That's
the
all that
first gen.
existed.
Yeah, and the first gen like Cobb Access Sports, and then all the way from then. And yeah, and then they started all blowing up. So that the job security stayed with it until now. And there's always something to work on.
Hell, it took us till the mid 2010s to figure out how to keep those damn cars together.
Yeah, and Subaru didn't figure it out until now. So it actually keeps us all in business working on them. And I don't know if it's good or bad, but like they all blow up. So it's not necessarily the shop or the tuner. It could be just a stock car.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier compared to some of the other platforms when they never break, and then when they do, they have to blame somebody. But
Yeah.
it
No,
is.
that's something you do get with this platform is you've got a loyal fan base of a manufacturer who made a lot of mistakes. And there's plenty of them out there, and there's plenty of them breaking.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you guys were very early adopters into trying to push the envelope with a VB. Um, so did you just kind of look at this as this is the new platform, this is what we're gonna do, or was there like a conversation that like, hey, we want to come shit hot out of the gate and be the guys for this? I mean, where
You know,
yeah, what's the situation there? Tell me about your VB and how it started.
we've done a lot, and I really like the like being the first to run a number or something
Sure.
with a car, because it's really easy to advertise that. Nobody can ever take that away. So like a couple of the platforms we did that with. So like the F80, M3, M4, we were the first in the 10s and 9s with that. First in the 11s and 10s with the A90 Supra, which we don't make a whole lot of stuff for anymore. We still work on them. And it's fun. Like it's nice when there's a lot of competition to get to that point.
Yeah.
It's probably like the second best thing to heads up drag racing is like trying to run a number with a new platform, and there's other shops competing to do it, which it's cool. So that part of it's really fun. And it kind of indirectly helps advertise anything we're doing here and selling and parts making, whatever, tuning them.
Absolutely.
We didn't know at the time, we didn't know how good the cars are going to be. Because it always took a little bit. Like when in 15, when the WRXs came out, the FA20s, like initially they were awesome, and they made a lot of power with bolt-ons, and they seemed really reliable. And then they eventually still blew up. Not as much, but there were still issues and a lot of limitations. So we weren't quite sure where that was going to go with this one, but it ended up working out. So we got one of the first ones on the East Coast. So I think, I don't know how the shipping was, but it was like 2022, like February or March, we got our car, and it was supposed to be, we ordered a white base model manual, but they were making the other colors or something first. So like they called us and said, hey, yours isn't going to be in for like a month, but we have a CVT and a manual coming in. We don't know what color they are, but if you want the manual one, it's yours. So we ended up getting that one. We didn't know what color it was, so we went and picked it up, and it ended up being orange, which it doesn't look bad.
But, I gotta be real. In the end, I think your car is kind of known. You know, that orange color, like you guys kind of owned it. You know what I mean? I think it worked out good for you.
Yeah, I don't mind it. And we kind of got started right away with it, and there was kind of this big like. There wasn't a whole lot we could do with it initially because Cobb didn't have an access port out for it yet to tune it, and there really wasn't a whole lot you could do on the stock ECU with just like we had a JB4 on it, which like works okay, but they're not full-time closed loop stock, so it had some limitations with running a JB4 on top of parts that were on the car. And it was, I mean, almost a year. I think it was late in 2022 when they released the AP for them, and we can actually start doing some more stuff with it. And then it was early the next year when we started drag racing it and went 10s. We went 1075 on a stock motor.
Crazy.
Trans in the car.
That is crazy. So how much weight did you have out of that car?
It really is not that light, and it's not even that light now. We have the shootout, DSM shootouts next weekend, where we'll race it there. And it's in like the Street 32 class, like street class, that has to have front seats and door panels and like some of the interior, but it has like all the interiors in it right now. I haven't weighed it. Like when we drag race, we typically take the back seats and the passenger seat out, but it's really not like a ton of weight.
Yeah.
And we've added a lot of weight to it with the fuel system and the turbo kit and intercooler and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's probably, I mean, I have no idea what it weighs, but it's probably not much lighter than a stock one. But
Yeah, which they're not crazy light cars, but those engines definitely light up. So I guess
yeah,
compared to the VA, so the FA20, when you started messing around with the FA24, were you immediately like surprised at how much that thing was able to pick up on just some basic, bolt-ons and a tune?
ridiculous comparatively to the FAs. And the FAs picked up a lot of power with just bolt-ons and E85.
Yeah.
These are just made way more torque. And what we found out adding more stuff to it is the motors were a whole lot stronger. And didn't really have any issues at 500-600 horsepower where an FA 20 you would. So um, it turned out to be pretty strong. The stock engine in our car, we have a IG block in it now, but
I mean, even
I still have
before
a stock
then, you
engine on
guys
it.
were making crazy jam.
Yeah, it made 650, 660 on a stock engine, with keeping the torque down low somewhat. But I mean, it didn't blow up. It's still on a stand. Like we took out of the car running. And I don't know what else is crazy is you really don't see a lot of people breaking them. Like we have
Mhm.
one car we've got in that had a blown motor, that had a spun rod bearing. And that's pretty much it. Like they seem to hold up pretty well. And there's a lot of idiots out there
A
that
lot.
some people drive me, some people beat the fuck out of them all day, and they don't seem to blow up as much. So I
Mhm.
mean, it's wild compared to what we've had for the last 20 years from Subaru.
Yes, it is actually pretty impressive of how robust that engine is. Um, have you guys did you run into any hurdles that you weren't expecting though? Developing a new platform, maybe stuff new VB owners, like if they start trying to go fast, or things that you had to overcome early that you guys maybe found a fun engineering way to get around?
I mean, there's honestly not a whole lot. Like everything's
Mhm.
held up pretty well. We haven't broken anything catastrophically that was an issue. I mean, especially for the the typical customer that does, you know, basic bolt-ons, flex fuel, and a tune. They hold up really. I mean, even the stock trans and clutch holds up pretty well. Um, if you drag race them, that's when you start breaking more of that stuff. Like it'll need a better clutch, and if you do that with a stock drive line, usually they start breaking third gear. Um, at least what we found in the trans, but it's not like common, you know. And there's really not a whole lot of major issues that we found with them. Um, but stock line drive lines pretty strong for the most part. I mean, we ran tens on the stock, trans, good twin disc in it, and stock trans and drive shaft axles, all that stuff on slicks. And it held up well. And then we kind of preventively put in an STI driveline after that. But we didn't really break much on the stock one. Obviously, if we would kept drag racing like that, I bet it would, power wise. And I honestly, I don't know, but the transmissions stock, and somebody may know out there, but they look pretty similar to the FA20 stock trans externally, and I think the gear ratios are slightly different, but I don't know if it's stronger or not.
So putting them next to each other, they look about the same, but I gotta be real. I hear a lot less issues of people breaking them, at least below 400 wheel, which is surprising
Yeah,
because they make so much more torque. But I mean,
a
design
lot.
wise, that's still a 5+1. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, so I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of broken transmissions in them. There's obviously people out there that have broken them and see posts and stuff of guys that do, but not as many as I would assumed. If it's in fact the same trans that's in the FA or VA WRX,
yeah.
maybe somebody will figure that out. I know it's a different part number and like it's technically different because the gear ratio is slightly different, but I don't know if it's actually stronger or not. But
So you guys went to an STI 6 speed, did you not?
yeah, so we did um, just a stock STI 6 speed. Swap the front axles, swapped over from an STI.
Okay.
No, stock axles, stock VB axles, STI trans, IG triple, um, carbon fiber drive shaft. So like the chassis is slightly longer and wider than a VA STI. So if you swap the drive line over, the drive shaft, the stock drive shaft ends up being slightly shorter. We made a like a 1-inch spacer for the drive shaft on the rear that we have being made so we can sell it. But it's just a 1-inch spacer that bolts on the rear diff so that you can put a stock STI, like 15 to 21 STI drive shaft in it.
Okay, that's actually a pretty cool part. I wonder if we can get that on the site.
The carbon drive shaft, like if you buy a drive shaft shop carbon for a VA STI, it works because the yoke's so long.
Yeah.
So like there's enough engagement that you can just put it in. So that's what most people do, is just use that. And then the rear axles are like slightly shorter, but and I know there's a lot of guys working on like an aftermarket option that was the correct length. But we just run a standard STI rear axle and STI rear diff, and we've never had an issue with it. So,
are you running drive shaft shop rear axles, or you just send them on the stockers?
Just put for next weekend. I just put a set of drive shaft shop rears in it, but we haven't broken a rear diff or axle. We actually broke 2 STI trans, just 4th gear.
Yeah.
So like we put the stock STI trans in it. They were all like a 15 to 21 model year trans. And the first time at the track, we had a couple passes out of it, and then it was always the flat shift into 4th, where I would just no lift shift into 4th, and as soon as I put in fourth gear and let the clutch out, it just rev emitter and just tore all the teeth off 4th gear. And we did it once and thought it might have been a fluke because these transmissions are supposed to be bulletproof stock, and then like 2 passes later, another used trans did the same thing. So it's a combination of
I've done it a bunch. I've done it a bunch in my time attack car before we went to the sequential, where I literally 4th gear, I just exploded. And I think it comes from, because you're saying the same thing I am, it'll come from like a flat foot, and it just does not like it. It doesn't like going through the synchros. It gets pissed. It like chips one tooth and then takes the rest with them.
Yeah. It makes a whole lot of noise, and you're doing 100
all of it
10 miles an hour. So like if which is very well, could just lock the trans up at that point and really fuck your day up. So we did I was going to put a dog box in it, but we still drive the car a lot in the street.
Sure.
So we did IAG makes a synchro PPG set.
Yep, we did.
Fourth synchro, and then a helical 5th and 6th.
Yep.
Got that, took it to you said John Shepard earlier. I've been friends with him for like 15 years. He's a great dude. He built the trans, so we took the trans out to him with a gear set. He put it all together and set it all up, and then put it back in the car. And that's what's in the car now, and we have had it the past year or so in it, and works great. It's a little taller, so like 4th gear is super tall.
Really
it's like
tall.
4th gear, almost as tall as 5th.
Yeah,
like
they're basically the same gear.
Yeah,
except 5th is quiet and 4th isn't.
Yeah, and we can and you can run it out we can run it out close to the limiter in 4th at the track and still be okay. So
nice. I was about to say, because one of the things with a VB is you can't rev the living nuts off of them. Like the FA24, it'll make boatloads of power, but you're kind of stuck near factory redline, just because the factory oiling, that factory oil pump does some weird stuff past that. The aftermarket really hasn't caught up on that. Have you guys been able to run past that, or do you I've seen your dynos, and you're cutting off when I would expect you to cut off, which is right around there. Have you guys tried running it out more? Have you seen any oil pressure dips, anything like that?
The oil pressure looks pretty good. I had on the dyno today.
Yes, we're going to talk about that too.
We'll walk up front, but yeah, no, I mean we rev the shit out of it, and on the stock cams, no matter what, that was kind of one of the walls we ran into with it on stock cams. No matter what we did with it, not to get off.
No, you're good, dude. Wander.
It made a little over 700 horsepower on a stock heads with just drop-in valve springs, but stock cams and everything.
Which is wild. Those heads flow.
Built motor, yeah, and a G3770. Oh, we had on it at the time. We thought it might have been the turbo, so we put a G351050 on it, and it made the same exact power, just way laggier. And no matter what we did, it wouldn't make more than like 720-ish, and wouldn't make anything past like 6,000 RPM was peak power no matter what. It would just fall off past that. We tried a bigger turbo. We sprayed it with like a 75 shot. Nothing worked. And we assumed it was just either the heads or the stock cams because they're stock, but weren't really sure until we swapped cams in it, and that kind of opened that all up.
So you sent a dyno over to us, and I don't know if you're still going to be able to pick it up, where you did before and after the cams. And the amount of power, I don't know if you still have that, but if like you could shoot that over Facebook or dump it in the chat, it is unreal. The amount the cams opened up for you guys. It was crazy. It is the best example I've ever showed somebody of if your cam is a restriction, this is what it'll look like.
Yeah. And we try to do it back to back as best as possible. So like we put the car back on the dyno and ran it as is, and we pulled it off the dyno, pulled the motor out, put the cams and valve springs in on an engine stand, put it all back together, put it back on the dyno. So I mean, it was pretty close. The only thing that changed was the cams.
So you put in the Kelford, what are they, the 272s that we sell?
So there's two that they offer now. So there's like or three, sorry. So there's like a drop-in one that you can run with stock valve springs. I think it's an A and a B. So maybe like an easy A, B. And the B's I don't think are out yet. So the A, like the easy is drop-in, the A is drop-in, but you have to run springs. And then I think they're having they're releasing a bigger one. But I think it's roughly like a 272 advertised.
Yeah, 272, 276. That's what we put in yours, right? That's what you guys got. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because, I mean, this was night and day. It was unreal. So.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah,
I'll send it over to you. Put it up. But no, I mean they worked awesome. And it was
picked up a stupid amount of power up top.
And it lost like a small amount of torque, and a whole lot of power up top, and kept carrying power. And then it got to the point. Then it's like, okay, how high can we rev it? Because I don't know what the oiling system's doing up there. I don't know if it's gonna float a valve or just blow up. And we'll rev it to like, it makes peak power now at like 7,100 RPMs or so. But we'll rev it like 76, 7,700 on the track, and it hasn't blown up yet. I don't know. I can't say if it's good or bad or you
do it at your
own
risk. That's what he's saying.
Been okay so far.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was like the next big step with all that. I'd like to go back and just drop those cams down on like a bolt-on stock car just to see what they do. Because I guarantee, I don't know if it's worth all the time and labor to pull a motor out and do it, but it's got to pick up decent power.
I have a hard time believing after seeing the results that you had there that even a set of like the basic drop-in cams on like a 400 horsepower car wouldn't pick up. It would help carry power up top.
It's got to be good, and we'll eventually do it soon. We've been doing a lot with like. Our car's kind of wild, and obviously that's like a very small percentage of customers are going to do something like that. So we want to go back and do a basic bolt-on car with, there's a lot, and I'm sure we're going to do, but there's a lot of like bolt-on upgrade turbos out for it now, which weren't out when we first started with this. And we like to test some of those and then do something that's compatible with like a stock ECU, the upgraded DI injectors and high pressure pump they have for the cars.
Yeah.
So that you can run full 85 and not worry about mixing gas down, to stay within fuel system limits and everything. But we'll get there.
Yeah, I'd probably let it carry a little bit, fatten up the power band. Honestly, the track guys would probably love it. I've been saying this for a while. I think the VB WRX with an STI trans would be a absolute beast in grid life street class, which kind of requires you to stay with a stock turbo or a very small upgrade. I think that car would be just a total monster. The chassis is really good. I need to get you. That's what you guys should do. You should put a street class VB together. I'll help you with the rule set and all that, and you guys should come do some grid life with us.
For a long time. I've been a drag racer since I was a kid, and
Sure.
I've been to like the tracks where you turn left and right before, but like not a lot, and like I've never raced on one. And it looks like a whole lot of fun.
How about
We just need to get out and do it.
you
I
guys are
know.
up near you're near Pittsburgh in
Yeah.
October. Grid Life's running a pit race thing there. We're gonna be at pit race. Okay. I'll be out there running boogie, doing the whole thing. You guys should come out. You should just hang out. I'll get you in. Just chill out. I'll do the same thing to you that I did to Mary in the chat, or I'll bring you out and it'll fuck you up.
I mean, drag races get made fun of a lot.
No,
Because of that.
whoa,
So
whoa.
like,
That ain't what's going on here. I think what you guys are doing is amazing. And personally, I think what you guys are doing is saving drag racing. And I am personally of the opinion small displacement 4-cylinder drag racing stuff is about to make a massive comeback because it has gotten so expensive to hang out with any of these big power like street outlaw, all the basic like bolt on kind of basic drag race stuff has gotten so wildly expensive that you're starting to see guys mess around with the smaller stuff again. Not only that, like it's just fun. You know, Honda drag racing never chilled out. And like I foresee it coming back. I'd really like to see it coming back. I hear a lot of the OGs are putting their cars back together. It'd be a lot of fun to see that again. But I think some of the stuff you guys are doing, still chasing records with Subarus and stuff, I think it's fantastic. I don't want you guys to even remotely think about stopping that. Don't.
oh, we won't. I'll never start drag racing. I love it. The especially like there's been like this stick shift classes coming up now, and a lot of the major events they run. You know, an H pattern stick shift class, heads up, which is awesome, and that's the most fun I have drag racing. I think it's a blast. So like continue to do that. That even those classes have gotten so fast, like you can't compete with a Subaru for the most part. You know, I mean, that's a mid-high 6-second class for any big event with a stick shift in it.
Yeah.
Which is big money too. But either way, I'll take you up on that, and I'll definitely come pit race.
Yeah, come hang out, man. Just see what it's about, you know. And I could show you kind of some examples of what a build like that would be. And I think with what you guys have learned from your drag program and what your plans are for that, it would prove that platform even for the guys who are just going to have a fun street car, maybe go bomb around a Tail of the Dragon or whatever. The stuff that chassis is really good at. You know what I mean? Like this is throw your family in it, go blast around in the mountains. You know what I mean? Like you can do everything with that car, and that class is good at showing that. I think it would be sick.
I feel like the STIs and Evos for the most part have been awesome in that type of racing, and we're kind of dumb for drag racing them because they're not really good at drag racing. Like an all drive car is not the best platform for that. But no, I definitely like to. I know Matt at Six Star, that's kind of close to us. They're in Pittsburgh. He road courses his. They have a 22 that he does a ton with.
Other Six Star. I just want to throw this out here. I love those guys. I've got a little history with. So before I went to IAG, I was with Six Star Motorsports in Chicago. I just want to make sure everybody knows, and I give Matt every single time that they stole our name. Okay, we were first. Good guys though. The guys up at Six Star, good people. Yeah, dude, I think it'd be sick. You guys, hell, then you guys could start, competing the same way that you were competing, trying to be the first one to, nines.
Does anybody like at your level? Like, does anybody race any of the newer cars? Like, is there
We don't have anybody running a VB and in street modified like what I do, but the class, I don't want to call it below. Okay. So the thing about time attack is you just have these different size sandboxes you can play in. All right. So street sandbox is a little less than street mod as far as what you can do. And nobody's made a real effort, honestly, with any VB yet at all, but it would fit into street really well.
Okay.
So
yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, like that would definitely be. We're kind of deciding what to do with our car. Like this winter, I don't know whether we're gonna put it back more to a street car or continue down. I don't want to like the car has like 1,500 miles on it. It's actually in really nice shape, but I really want to destroy it. I want to cage it.
Yeah.
To drag race, I want to gut it. If we do a drag car, like we'd buy, I'd find a wrecked one or something, and we do that.
Yeah.
But they're really like they're not expensive cars.
No, they're really not.
Pick up one to do bolt-ons and go drag races isn't bad compared to some of the other things you get into. But
no, or just as a street car, street light to street light. Good luck. Okay, a bolt-on WRX. It's gonna take like a GTR or a 911 turbo or something rolling up next to you at a street light to beat you to the next street light. I don't give a shit what it is on an unprepped surface. Just fucking around. Good luck. They are so fucking quick. They're so quick, and they'll do it.
And for the money, like, it's the best car. It's the best car for the money right now. I agree. I think.
I agree
in that price range.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah, especially if you need a car that can do it all. They're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. So, yeah. So, like as far as any other VB development or any other Subaru stuff, what are you guys messing around with? You got any new parts or anything fun? Like that spacer for the differential for the drive shaft's pretty cool. I didn't realize you guys were making that, so I'm gonna actually start sending people your way, or I'm gonna see if we can't maybe grab a bunch and put them on our site.
We should put more of like, we do a lot of like testing and stuff in the background, and I don't post a lot about it. And I probably should just share all the stuff. We've been testing a couple turbos lately, the bigger frame stuff. So the Garrett, we had a G30 770 on the car.
Mm-hmm.
We switched to a G30 900, same turbine housing, turbine wheel, and everything on it. So it made like 820 on a G30 900. And then just today, which I think I sent you the down. We didn't post anything yet about it.
I'm gonna post that over here because you guys got to see this. This thing made some jam. How much up from your last dyno was this? The last one we saw?
A lot. So we did the G30 900 made 830 ish.
Yeah.
And then when it went 9, so last year I went back to the track, we went to the shootout last year. We just wanted to run a 9-second pass in the car. It went 10:001.
No, I'd be so mad.
And so we'll come back, make a couple changes, and then our local track, which we have Keystone Raceway is like 20 minutes away. It's awesome. And we'll do like a little track rental there and just try to run a 9-second pass with it. And we ended up putting a G35 1050 on, which is a good bit bigger.
Yep.
And it went first pass. It went like easy, like 10 flat, and then went like 980s, 990s like 5 or 6 times in a row. And no matter what we did at the track, it didn't go any faster than that. So like more boost. Changed the cam timing. We put the nitrous back in the car, the bottle back in the car, ran like a 50 shot. It didn't do anything at all. And then it wasn't until we got back, like that day we got back from the track, our video guy was like going over the video they took there, and he has a video from the 8th mile, and it's like screaming, and the turbo, like a blown up turbo, sounds like a fire engine.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear it driving the car, and nobody said anything about it. But we got back, and the compressor wheels just chewed the fuck up. And really? I thought initially we overspun it. Like at the time we didn't have a speed sensor in it. And I thought maybe we just overspun it and it chewed the wheel up, which happens, whatever. But we had like a forward-facing intake on it, and the first pass, it must have on like a return road picked up a rock or something, and it was enough to chew the blade up, but not enough to like destroy it. So I have no idea. Like, I don't want to say like, oh, there was a lot left in it and should have went way faster, but like it was fucked up. And we got it back, took the turbo off, sent that out to get rebuilt, and then just put the other turbo back on it for the time being. So we put that one, finally got that back like last week, put it back on the car with the cams and everything in it now. And this Mark's fucking with it yesterday and today, and it made like just over 900, and then ran out of injectors. So we have stock DI in the car, stock DI injectors and high pressure pump. Have a radium triple surge tank with triple 525s in it, and then processless manifold with port injection. So like the DI will support 400-ish horsepower, and then the PI takes everything above that. And we just had 1050s in it, which are good for 450-ish more. So like 859 and horsepower was out of fuel. And I swapped those injectors on the dyno this morning and then turned it up, and it made 950, 960, something like that. It's pretty wild.
So
at like 40, 44, 45 pounds on 1050.
So I run that same turbo on Boogie, but I run around at like the low 600s. Our whole concept was to try to keep the exhaust manifold pressure reasonable so we can run the living piss out of it. Obviously, we're not making drag passes. But what I am seeing here is like those heads flow.
Yeah, and they're not ported. Like we didn't touch them. They're completely stock heads.
Cams. That is wild how much power that thing's making.
The cams aren't that big, and like compared to like a 4G63 cylinder head or something like that, like you wouldn't get anywhere close to that with a drop-in cam or a slightly larger cam.
No, well, even on the EJ with really well ported heads, you're still looking at like you're going nuts to make that kind of power. That's incredible. That is sick. Like I that gets me so amped seeing those kind of numbers. So funny story about your compressor wheel, like just, I don't know, getting slightly munched. We had the same thing happen to us at Road Atlanta this year. We're like, God, this car feels like it's down on power and we can't figure it out. And we thought it was just really hot out. Like we were looking for boost leaks and all sorts of shit. We're just like, this thing is doggy as shit. We go throw it on the dyno thinking we found like a smoking gun, something small that we throw it on the dyno. We were down like 150 horsepower and it was like coming on 2000 RPMs late and everything. We finally found it. Yeah, we were missing like a chunk of our compressor wheel. And Garrett was really great.
Ran like it was kind of laggy on gear change, even at the track. But first time we ran that turbo, so we just assumed it was, I guess, still made
a bigger turbo.
Still went okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I can tell you, Garrett, without even questioning it, replaced that turbo for us. So I don't know, maybe get a hold of Tim over at Garrett. But
it looked like it was just because I thought initially it overspun, and that's why we put some of the extra sensors on it just so we know where it's at. But the center cartridge was okay, the shaft was okay, like it didn't bend anything, it just looked like it ate something.
That's what we thought too. But like I'm right there with you, man. I'll show you some pictures after this because I bet you they look almost identical. And I don't know. I'm sponsored by Garrett. I love those cats. Okay. And I'm just saying it was a little weird.
Is it a T4 that you run?
No, I'm running V-band in and out.
Okay.
Yep, I'm on their 1.2 hot side. We did that again to lower exhaust manifold pressure. You said you're on the 1.01?
Yeah, so like the ETS turbo kit set up for the internal gate series.
So you're not even running an external gate, are you? Are you on an external gate, but just with the internal gate? You're on the internal gate.
Internal, it's factory internal wastegate actuator, like electronic actuator.
Wild.
And it works. So like we were going to put, I think somebody might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the head flanges are the same as an FA. So I think you could bolt on a ETS manifold for a turbo kit for an older car and run the twin gates and just have pneumatic gates on it.
Yeah.
Which we were planning to do if this didn't,
But look how
work.
good this looks. You know what I mean? Why would you mess with that? Like, that power band is gorgeous. Like, I know people who are listening to this in the podcast later on aren't going to be able to see this, but I'm just going to, I'll kind of explain it. He's hitting, well, he hits peak torque kind of late, but it makes kind of a bump. But this thing is full steam at like $5,000. Okay. And it tears to 7,500. And it is nuts. It's literally just oh my God. It's 960 horsepower and it's super reasonable. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be sad about a power band like that on track, and like for drag racing, it's going to be insane. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, the car's never below that. So like we leave at like between 55 and 6,000 RPMs depending. So like it doesn't matter what it does below that for us. I think I don't know if I sent you. I have some of the pictures. I overlaid it on the smaller turbo too because.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That would have been great.
I'll go ahead and send you just so we can see it.
Yeah.
But it's not that much lag. It's like a 900 RPMs, maybe 1,000 RPMs lagger than a G3900, but it's a lot bigger turbo. So it's not terrible for what it does.
One of the things I really like about the G series is as long as you're past boost threshold, it's a light switch. Like, seriously, you could take that car to the track and it would fuck.
Yeah.
it would work on track and drag racing. Like that's impressive. Like, honestly, you know what this thing would kick ass at is roll racing. Like, because if you were to nail that at $5,000, you're running from everything.
It works, man. Yep. And the internal wastegate setup works really well. Car's on a Motec.
I was about to ask, what are you using for engine management? Because obviously you're running port injection with your DI, so you've got to be on something like a Motec or something decent. When did you guys end up putting that in? Like, when was that decision to go that route?
So basically, when we needed the extra fuel, so like there's depending on who you talk to, there's a lot of like what's a stock fuel system good for? It's depends on the ethanol content, but like 400 horsepower, anything more than that, it's at full like E85.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to have an issue. Like you can make more than that, but
you're having to mix fuel and all sorts of shit.
Down. Yeah. And like it sucks for our car, it wouldn't matter, but to give a customer a car that like, hey, you can't run more than 40% ethanol in it, is a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
And for that anyway, we need some way to get extra fueling, and there's some like additional injector controllers out there that work okay, but until it's integrated with the stock ECU, we put a Motec in the cars because it was simple. And on top of that, all the drag racing features that we have with it and all the logging made sense.
The data alone.
Now, I think you could make a lot of power in a stock ECU still, and I kind of want to do a car like that with a port injection controller to run that on top of a factory DI. But that's kind of the biggest limiting factor, is that like no matter what, past 450 horsepower, so you're going to need to do something, whether it's meth injection or port injection.
I know guys have done pretty well with the Nostrum, like we have them on our site, but the upgraded injectors and fuel pump.
So
like add a decent amount of headroom as compared to like, honestly, they didn't pick up a ton with the FA20, but the FA24, the design's a little different, and they picked up a pretty decent amount of headroom. So you can get away with stuff like that in ways you couldn't on the FA20.
I'd like to do a car with that, with a bolt-on turbo, because if you could do like 500 wheel on 485 with all the factory DI stuff, it would be sick. I mean, that would be most people, that would be what they wanted anyway.
I think it's valid.
I think you could probably get away with that.
I think you really can. I think you're going to be asking a lot out of that trans, but I definitely think you could do that. And yeah, I'd love to see that. I think that's something that if we aren't going to do that here, I think we should work with you guys and try to make something like that happen.
Yeah, I have a couple cars that we're gonna do. We'll test a stock location, a couple stock location turbos, but I think with a larger turbo, the stock turbos you pretty much can't make more than that. So like the fuel system's fine,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more options for a direct replacement for the stock turbo that will easily make 500 plus. So you're gonna have to do something with it, and 99% of the customers are going to be on a stock ECU with an access port. So you have to
hmm
have an option to make that all work and function. The process West manifold we have in the car now is nice because for a while we just had we had BRZ, so we had like a 22 plus BRZ manifold
yep,
um, that added port injection and all work, but it doesn't have the TGVs in it, and the Process West one does. So like you could keep as the EGR, TGVs, everything's still there. So you can put it on a stock car with a stock ECU and it would all work. You wouldn't have any check engine lights or anything like that. Um, it really just need a good controller for port injection to run it. And we've done a couple cars with just a drop in like a 45 pump in the stock housing
yeah.
and no other changes of fuel system, just run the feed line in the engine bay, just split it and run feed to the high pressure pump and then one to the port injectors without even a return line. Just run through a deadhead, and it works fine. And that'll support
Dang.
550, 600 horsepower pretty easy. So if there's a good way to control it, that's all you really need.
Yeah, the standalone controllers kind of weird me out. It's just with your ECU not really in control of that. Different things, it could be getting weird readings and pouring fuel at weird times. And there's it sticks in the back of my mind, and I'm sure they've done some stuff with this. But there was a guy trying this in a track car, that I remember. It was a few years back, but they were trying to run um that port injection controller, and the controller itself got hot, and then the injector stuck wide open, so it ended up hydrolocking the engine. It's just a shit situation, you know what I mean? Like that's to do it right, you either kind of need to deal with whatever you can with DI, or I think there needs to be another level of port injection add-on. I think where we're going to see that though is when one of these companies really starts messing around with some of these CAN interfaces. Like Cobb's got this new CAN interface coming. iWire's got this new CAN interface coming that's going to allow you to maybe pump this information in via CAN. And it's pulling information via CAN. And I have a feeling that's going to be the future. I really, really do. Um,
There's some of
so
the platforms like BMW and BMW for sure, like the motive box that works on CAN. It works great and it's controlled by the stock ECU, but still programmable.
exactly.
And that's what all the B58 guys run. I mean, that works great. If they could integrate something like that, that's all it would
I
need. It was
think it's coming. I think there just needs to be enough people shaking trees to do it. And
yeah.
again, this is why I scream at VB guys. I mean, I know you're all excited about 400 wheel, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but you guys are so close to being able to make so much more. But you got to shake the trees, okay?
Yeah.
And there's companies out there that can make it, but this is one of the downsides of the current generation versus how like we used to go about things way back in the day, with it, the I'd say like the heyday of NASIOC in like 2010, 2011, where we were all like we were powerful, you know what I mean? Like us as the enthusiast, we'd scream loud enough to where the aftermarket would have to listen, and I the VB community needs to start screaming for this stuff. So,
Agree, man. I think there's a lot of potential there if we have that. And that's probably the next step. And we're about in that like couple years after the car's
right
been
there.
made that all those parts usually start to blow up. So
Yep.
we should definitely see something soon with that. And there's obviously more stuff every day available for them. So
Yep. We're not far off. So how do you see, speaking of the future of the VB, what do you see the future of of Subarus. Like, you know what? Why don't we take a step back? You guys made this crazy ass drag car. You're setting records with it. Have you seen more? Have you guys seen guys from around the country or whatever seeking you out because you're kind of the VB drag expert or the speed expert at this point? Have you guys seen extra business due to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to quantify what actually came
Sure.
from that. I always think that the drag racing part of it and the being the first to a certain number and indirectly advertising helps out business no matter what.
Absolutely.
I don't know how much of it is from that. We do a ton of VB stuff. A lot of e-tuning the cars, and we have we've done a bunch of higher power builds here with them from cars that aren't that local to us. So it definitely helps. I think there's like notoriously Subaru guys don't really drag race that much. So
These days.
compared to some of the other platforms,
Yeah.
yeah, at least now there's still a lot of DSM Diva guys that drag race comparatively. So
Yep.
I wish there was more of that. And our car is really fast, and it's the fastest one, but it's not. There's not a whole lot of other people doing it. So it's not like it's a cool achievement, but I wish there was more competition, to get into that point. And that's what makes it more fun to try to get to the kind of the next step with the platform. I don't even know what the next fastest one is. Like, there's not like a lot of the other platforms are some sort of like leaderboard with this is the fastest one, and then the top 10, whatever. I don't know what the other ones are, but at least pushing the platform to that extent kind of helps everybody out below that. So
I agree.
Not everyone's going to build a 900 horsepower car, but just the development, all that stuff helps out with everybody else.
So if I were looking to build a 600 horsepower, VB or something, like I want a big power street VB. I can say, like, just through what I have seen in the different Facebook groups and stuff like that, and who gets recommended, I would end up in one way or another. I'd probably end up with you guys. I would end up probably calling myself, if I was just some dude, because we have the engine. But like, if they start asking for shops, I think we would have ended up with you. I would end up there. You guys get brought up a lot. You kind of are the bleeding edge of VB stuff, which is super cool. Yeah, I just wondered if you had people coming in. What do you see as far as the future of VBs? Like, what needs to happen to really kick it off? Do you think that Subaru's gonna, keep the WRX around? I mean, let's be real, the sales numbers haven't been all that great, but the ones that are out there, they are modding them. So I don't know.
We got a lot of local business with them. We've done a bunch of like 500-600 horsepower builds for customers. So I mean, the business is definitely out there, and we're obviously not. There's a ton of good shops out there working on these cars, and there's a lot of other people doing the same thing. So general consensus is that most people mod them. I mean, there's probably more modded ones out there than stock ones. So the parts, I mean, like the basic bolt-on parts and the OTS maps and stuff for them. I mean, there's a lot of money in those areas to make on them. I don't know. I mean, who knows what there's obviously a lot of we're not going to get political, I promise you, but there's a lot of things changing, recently. So
yes,
I don't know how that's going to affect us and all, but we'll see.
Without getting too political, I think a lot of people forget when the VB hit, and then what the climate was of trying to modify a vehicle at that point. Okay, we were all going, how are we even going to do this now? We're years past that, but that was when that development that normally happens right when a platform hits got really stunted with the VB because, companies like Cobb were trying to figure out how to make the rest of their, their money-making stuff, which at that time was still the VA and everything else. How are we going to make this stuff, like, how are we still going to be viable and be able to continue doing what we're doing? So they had to put a ton of their effort into that instead of R&D on the new platform. So, like, I think it it kind of hurt the initial start of the VB, and I think that kind of hurt some of its initial hype.
It sucked, man. That we, I'm sure you guys have dealt, and we got audited by the EPA. Like people showed up one day
Yeah,
just out of the blue. That was a whole nother nightmare.
I bet.
Um, but it like that whole situation, everyone was kind of on edge. Nobody wanted to like. It got to the point where we didn't want to. You don't want to post anything like publicly about anything emissions related, and then like, do you really say that you're like tuning the cars or not? Like it was fucked for a while, and I think that really destroyed like the smaller like there was a lot of times other platforms where smaller shops would make basic parts for the cars and like intakes, exhaust, that kind of stuff
Sure.
that nobody wants to do now. So like
Yep.
you don't want a shop that makes 15 or 20 parts like that at a time. They're not going to go through the whole process with carb and get an EO number and all this shit. And that
They
stuff's
can't
not
afford to
available.
do
So the
that.
competition's gone, and
Yeah,
the amount of people to do that is very small. Thankfully, there's some good larger companies out there still, but there's not nearly a variety of parts available for them like
I agree.
there used to be.
Yeah, it's if you notice the majority of the parts out there are from the larger companies, the IAGs, the Pear and the Cobb, you don't have these smaller companies innovating stuff. Now, with that stated, a lot of stuff's been changing. We'll see what goes, how that all goes down. Again, we're not trying to get political on here. It's not what we're trying to do, but it's I'm interested to see where that goes. The last thing I think anything wants to see is grassroots racing destroyed over a couple of lines of text, and that's really what was happening at that point. And no matter which side of the aisle you were sitting on, I think a bunch of people are breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. I mean, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. We can't really speak too much into that, but it does seem like the clouds are clearing a little bit.
Hopefully it's just and it seems like it's just a little less enforced now. Like I don't think they're not going to change anything necessarily, but
No,
maybe if you don't have the fear of somebody showing up and finding you for putting an exhaust on a car, which I don't know how the shops in like California
I don't know
do
how
it.
they function.
I don't know anybody there, but like how as a shop owner in California, how do you make that work?
Dude, I have
I think
it's funny when I get phone calls for like, yeah, I'm in Cali, I'm trying to do this, that, and the other thing, and I just go, hey man, because our like around LA, we have two certified engine installers out there. We have Renner and Yemi Sport. I'm like, I don't know how to navigate this. Okay. Like I highly recommend you go talk to these guys just because they understand the laws and what you're allowed to do and things like that. I shove a lot of that straight to them. Like, go talk to these guys. I gotta be real. I just don't want you to steer. I don't want to steer you in a weird direction. I don't want you to buy parts that you can't use. And hell, there's a lot of things that like I can't even send to you. You know what I mean? Like it's
wow.
crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I just see the like the videos of people getting pulled over for like stupid shit on the car, and they have to do this whole process to
Oh,
go to like a state referee or something. I mean, it's wild. It's like it's a
dude,
different world, but
they had they had a time attack event out there, okay? And there were state cops waiting at the exit to see if anybody was going to drive out with numbers on their cars, and they just pull them over. Like it was just crazy. Like like
I'll just
it is
stay the fuck
insane.
away.
Yeah, it's insane. And that we don't need that shit. Come on. Whatever. We could go way down the rabbit hole on that one, but
Yeah.
yeah, let's not. So yeah, man. I'm I mean, I guess if people were to try to get a hold of you, how would they do it? What's the best way to do it?
We Facebook works. Our Facebook page. We have a phone number still, so like you can call the shop and talk to us.
That's huge.
My email is just nate@tpgtuning.com. So feel free, whatever works. But yeah, I mean, any question with that stuff? Like I said, we have a DSM shootout next weekend. We're gonna race the car there. We'll see what happens. It went 980s and not 988 fastest to date. I hope it goes faster than that. We'll see what happens.
I mean, you picked up some steam, so yeah, next week.
Make a lot more power. You know, we're either going to go faster or break a whole lot more shit. I don't know yet.
Whatever. It's all of it's good times though. So hopefully we get some video and some pictures of that showing up next week. That'll be really rowdy to see.
Yeah.
So a couple of things here real quick, just while they're on my brain and I'm thinking about it. The cams that we talked about today, by the time this actually goes out, we will be running a sale on them. So if you made it this far, if we haven't ran the sale, we're going to be very soon. And if you are listening still, Labor Day sale starts tomorrow. So that's going to be sick. But other than that, I like saving those to the end, so I make these people actually stay around and listen. But yeah, dude, hopefully you can shoot over some really some badass video. You know, I'd like to see a 9.5 out of it. That'd be sick as shit, dude. You got a whole lot more steam up top now, so I don't see why you aren't gonna back end quite a bit quicker.
The car's always been pretty consistent in the short track, so I mean, if it stays together, it should be decent. But it's pretty much all ready to go. We want to test that. We put that 1050 on to see what would be a better option, that or the 900 that's on there. So I think we're gonna keep that on the car. We'll switch some of the stuff over to get ready to go racing and try it out next week. And
dude, we're hyped.
Go from there.
Everybody here's hyped. We're hyped to see it, and hopefully we get some some results and shoot them over as soon as you get them, and I'll make sure on the next podcast we'll talk about it. So
I'll send you all the stuff from today. We'll post. I'll probably post later tonight or tomorrow, like the Donna Sheet Donna video from Dave from me making 900, and hopefully other people out there try to catch up. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it's like lonely at the top, but I love the competitive part about it. So I hope there's other cars soon to try to do it and push everybody else to
you guys have shown it's possible. I don't doubt you guys are going to get competition in the not too distant future.
I hope so. It's not. It's. I think just no one's as stupid as us to put much money into the car just yet. So hopefully, that changes. And
a lot of it is knowing where to put the money into the car. You know what I mean? And like you did the hard work for a lot of people, at least giving it some form of direction. This works. Okay, well we can kind of work with that. You know what I mean? So yeah, and like I said, pit race is in October. Highly recommend you come out to that, man. Come hang out for a day at least. And just come out, chill, bring a lawn chair.
I'll definitely come.
So it'll be a really good time. I'll get you in. So
yeah.
Dude, I can't thank you enough. Thanks for coming on. This was awesome. So it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks.